is paused for some reason. All right, so before we officially begin, I would like to take account for quorum. The quorum number is 12, so as long as there are 12 registered student organizations here, we can continue with our regularly scheduled business. If you are representing a student organization, please raise your hand. I will say this one more time. If you are representing a student organization, please raise your hand so we can account for quorum. Kyle, Hannah Fam, Micah. All right. Well, going once, going twice, and we have 22 people. So that's perfect. Our quorum is 12, so we're right on track. Abram, can you go and pull up the presentation again? Sorry about that. Oh, you guys can stop raising your hands now. Thank you all for that. All right. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so I wanted to let y'all know. So Yesenia, do you have your hand raised? Okay, do you have a question? I'm gonna assume not because you're on mute. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. So I wanted to let you guys know that the applications for Student Government Association Executive Council for the 2021-2022 school year have been extended to Thursday, April 15th at 12 o'clock noon. For those of you guys who didn't know, the applications were initially due yesterday, Monday, the 12th at 1 p.m. We did not receive as many applications as we would like. So I highly encourage all of you guys to apply. Again, if you don't know, the positions are president, vice president committee coordinator, vice president outreach and communications, and last but not least, vice president administration. If you have any questions about what these positions entail, what your responsibilities would look like, please feel free to reach out to us at SGA or the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership, and they can help you with that as well. Applications, again, I will repeat this for the millionth time. Applications are going to be available until Thursday, April 15th at noon. I really, really encourage you guys to apply. I had a question earlier. Somebody messaged me asking me about director applications and like not being able to find them right now. So the way that works is once the new executive council, once the new cohort has transitioned and they're, getting the hang of things, they then go to appoint directors, right? And directors can apply and then be appointed, whatever the process, it's up to that specific EC member. So director applications will not be open until our EC applications have been completed. Are there any questions about this? Okay, next. All right, so I'm going to talk about Ramadan a little bit. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. So it's a PDF, so unfortunately it's like not, I don't know how to share this in full screen, but I hope you guys still enjoy the presentation. All right, so Ramadan is a month. It is a month that's a part of the Islamic calendar. So I guess starting from base one, there's a religion called Islam. People that follow the religion are called Muslims. We're not Islamics or Muslimics. We're Muslims, and Muslims is not a religion. It's a group of people. So we have a special month. This is the month in which our holy book was revealed, the Quran, and there's many, many, many blessings and miracles that have taken place in this month that you can do further research on, or we can talk about after. But for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to explain what activities Muslims engage in during this month and what you can do to kind of make some people feel a little bit more comfortable. So, fasting is a pillar of Islam. It's when you abstain from eating, drinking, gratifying sex desire voluntarily for a period of time from sunrise to sunset as a religious duty. So essentially, I don't eat from 5:50 p.m. or 5:50 a.m. to 7:46 p.m. I don't eat, I don't drink water. There's no like even nothing happens, right? And it's the thing is though, it's not just abstention from food and drinking. It's abstention from negative behaviors, right? So a lot of times people will be like, all right, I'm not going to get into this argument, I'm fasting right now, like I can't argue with you, I can't get very heated, I'm not going to get aggressive, because I'm fasting, and I don't want to break that fast, I want to be the best version of myself. um so yeah, it's obligatory on all Muslims. um so we do believe, these words are really intense, I will say. Like it just says hell, sin, paradise, devil. But um essentially we believe that the devil is locked up for this month. So that's why it's like such a time for us to be able to reflect on ourselves and work on ourselves, because we believe that the desires and emotions that we feel during this month are ours and ours alone. There's no longer like the devil whispering in your ear giving you ideas. It's all you because he's locked up. So that's kind of the idea behind this part. Again, feel free to take a screenshot or ask questions if you have any. um so Muslims are normally really excited for Ramadan. It's something that we look forward to every year. It's amazing because there's a huge sense of community that comes with this. So whenever we go to the masjid, also, side note, let's not call it a mosque. Um, yeah, you can Google why you probably shouldn't call it a mosque, but we'll stick to masjid, right? So, during this month, we believe that all of our good deeds are multiplied by 70 and more. So everything you do is just like extra special. Every smile that you give is you get kind of extra points or extra good deeds. Let me see. Is there something in the chat? How do I spell that? Spell what? Ramadan? Ramadan. It's also on the
The
screen.
thing that you said to not call a mosque.
Oh, masjid. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's how you say it. I'm so sorry.
You're
Uh,
good.
but yeah, the reason why I say not to say mosque is because it was like it initially comes from like mosquito and like trying to swat us away, and we just don't vibe with that. Okay, we prefer masjid. Um, but yeah, thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So again, another reason, there's a multitude of reasons as to why we believe that this month is so holy, blessed, and sacred. But one of the things is angels will ask for God to forgive you the whole time that y'all are fasting, or the whole time you as a person are fasting and abstaining and trying to be that best version of yourself. There are angels praying for you. And we actually believe that there's angels on your right shoulder and your left shoulder. So they're praying for me right now. Thanks, guys. And also the Quran was sent down in this month, as I mentioned before. So it's a month where most Muslims will kind of reread the Quran and replenish and like bring their faith back, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes you get in a rut and you get out of the groove, and this is kind of how you can get back in that groove. So read, yes, read. So the first part of this month is, well, the whole month is the month of forgiveness, but I will emphasize that the last 10 days are extremely special, because in the last 10 days there is one specific night, and you don't know which night it is on the last 10 days. um but there's one specific night called Laylatul Qadr, and that night is very special to Muslims. We believe that all of our prayers and dua and like desires and asks get answered, and there's a lot of special things that come with that night. There's a whole story behind that night that was originally part of this presentation, but I took it out because it was going to be way too long. But if you're interested in that, just let me know. I can explain it to you. But there is that one special night in the last 10 days. So normally the last 10 days, since you don't know which night it is, you want to be on your best, like on 10 on the last 10 days. So really like, yeah, I mean, the last 10 days you'll notice Muslims are going to the mosque more, not mosque, masjid. Going to the, see, I find myself switching to mosque when I'm talking to non-Muslims subconsciously. It's horrible. But anyways, Muslims will go to the masjid a lot more in the last 10 days, and they'll try to be reading more Quran and be on their best behavior. Laylatul Qadr, this is the night that I was talking about, the night of glory when it comes in the last 10 days. But again, I will let you guys read this on your own. I will say another very common practice, along with us fasting throughout the whole day at night, like probably around like 9 o'clock now, we go to the masjid and we pray and we pray and pray and pray and pray and pray all night. And it's not obligatory. It's kind of like extra credit, but kind of to get brownie points up with God. At least this is how I think of it, right? So Ramadan Kareem, everyone. So if you want to know what to say to your Muslim friends that are celebrating, I will put it in the chat. So you can say Ramadan Kareem, which kind of means like happy Ramadan. You could say Ramadan Mubarak. Yeah, those are two things you can say to be like, hey, I hope you have a blessed month, right? Also, at the very end of this month, like the last day, well, when the month is over, the first day after that is Eid or Eid. And thank you, Randall. And on that day, Eid al-Fitr, we can eat again. Ugh, it's amazing. The food always goes hard, but we can eat again, and it's normally kind of like the Muslim version of Christmas is the best way for me to explain it. Everyone's giving gifts to each other, everyone's celebrating. It's a really joyous occasion. Nobody was born on that day, but it's just marks an end of a spiritual journey for many Muslims across the globe. And that is my presentation. If you guys have questions about Ramadan or anything that I discussed, I would love to answer them for you. Thank you for listening. All right.
So Hiba, is the Kareem, like, do you say that on the first day of Ramadan or?
I mean, you could say it on the first day. You could also say it like anytime throughout the month, right? But generally the first week would be like a good time to say it because everyone's like, Ramadan is just starting for everybody. So you're like, oh, Ramadan Kareem, like happy Ramadan. I hope you have a great rest of your month. But yeah, thank you for asking your question. Next slide, please, Abram. So I have some great news. The last SGA meeting for this semester is going to be on April 20th, which means we are now in the second last meeting. There's only one more meeting left. Maybe I shouldn't be this excited, but on Get Involved, initially the last SGA meeting of the semester was April 27th. And we just wanted to clarify that according to our constitution, the last SGA meeting needs to be held in the third week of April, which would be April 20th. So our last SGA meeting is next week. After that, my term will be over and I'll never see you guys again. No, I'm just kidding. I'll probably be back. But yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. Okay, next slide. Ms. Schomburg, are you here from Education Abroad?
I am, yes.
All right, the floor is all yours.
So I believe, was it last week? Yes, went by so fast. I presented briefly about the Education Abroad Student International Accident and Sickness Insurance. And I discussed how this fee only applies to students who are enrolled in a UHCL approved education abroad program. So that means a faculty-led, a partner provider, service learning program, internship abroad, etc. And what was this about? This was about students who are approved to participate in education abroad program, regardless of credit or funding, are required to secure and maintain the international accident and sickness insurance coverage. And the coverage the provider was vetted by our institution. And currently the cost of the insurance may run between $12 and $25 a week. And this is pretty basic. Anytime it's on the higher end, maybe it's because it's a special type of program, like anthropology majors always come to mind. They're typically maybe out in rural areas or have to participate in programs that may be considered somewhat high risk in nature. So benefits of this, the insurance specifically covers students on education abroad outside of the United States. It's imperative for everyone's health, safety, and risk. It really helps the faculty who lead students abroad. They need help and resources in case anything happens to students. And this is best practices at most universities. This is standard that students have the exact same insurance while they are abroad. Some things for you all to consider is that when you go, if you participate in an education abroad program, which I hope you do, and you're on a program maybe independently and you trip and you sprain your ankle or something, you can quickly just go to an app. It'll tell you exactly where to go. We do not want you all to purchase insurance that is not considered A+ insurance. So you're stuck somewhere in a country and you don't know what to do, and the insurance that you purchase does nothing, absolutely nothing for you. And we want to make sure that our office and our institution aligns with the industry practice. We want to make sure that we afford you all or provide you all quality insurance while you are abroad. Again, the fee only applies to students who are enrolled in a UHCL approved education abroad program. Thank you. Any questions?
Yes, Laura, you have a question?
I am so glad to hear about that insurance policy, because just recently the travel program, the travel office, the insurance that we offered for travel insurance, the company went out of business. And so you can't get that travel insurance through the travel office anymore. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are checking into that, Bianca. That's wonderful news. I hope it's the fee request. That's it.
I want to make sure that students on this call are taking advantage of Ms. Schomburg's time right now. So we will be voting today on whether or not you guys support or don't support this fee. So it's very important that you clarify any misconceptions that you might have before the voting takes place. Are there any questions about this fee?
So you mentioned that it would be like an app. Can you just elaborate a little bit more about like what that would be like?
Absolutely. So first of all, students who are approved for an education abroad program, they must go through something called a pre-departure orientation. And we have tons of them now for the students who are going out for the summer and the fall. And what we do is we walk you through some important apps that we feel that you should download on your phone. So one of them would be the insurance provider CISI. And what it is that you would download the app, and the insurance provider will want to know, well, where are you going? So say, for instance, I have a student who is going to Japan, but we know that they're probably going to be spending their weekends flying into South Korea. So they would put in all the countries that they expect to go to while they are abroad. If they are in a country and something happens, they get really sick, and they need to quickly find a hospital, say, for instance, they're not on the campus of their program, they could quickly go to the app. It has the GPS and it'll say the nearest hospital is, 5 miles away. So the student can get to that. If it is a faculty who is leading the program, and say, for instance, something happens to one student and the student is not able to maybe use their mobile phone, the faculty can quickly go on there and find out where to take the student. If there's any forms that need to be submitted to the hospital or to the insurance company to file claims or things like that, all of that is handled directly through the app. So there should not be anything required for students or our office to go actually online and submit any documents. Anything and everything should be able to happen during the app, as well as the ID card. Everyone is issued an ID card that in case you go to a hospital and they're able to scan, they can scan quickly based off your phone.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Oh, Morgan?
Hi, yes, I was just curious about the insurance. Would that include like emergency evacuations, or is that solely for to seek medical care in that country that you're in?
Absolutely, that's all a part of it. So you're talking about medical evacuation. There's even a part in the insurance that, say, for instance, a family member needs to come, a family member or a loved one or close friend needs to come to the country where you're at for whatever reason to escort you back home, or you need to, or you would like them with you based on a procedure or something like that. Yes, the insurance covers all of that. It covers things from mental health. It covers just anything you can consider when it comes to education abroad and travel abroad. Students can, on their own, if they choose, can increase their insurance or the coverage that they would like on their own. But currently what we have now is very good, and it's aligned with what other universities offer to their students.
That's great. Thank you for answering that.
No problem.
I have a question. Will all students be paying these fees, or just certain students that partake in these programs?
Only the students who partake in, who are approved for a UHCL education abroad program. That is it. Now, if you are, say, for instance, a student who is going on a faculty-led program, we have a great one in January, by the way, with Dr. Curtis in Oman, the country of Oman. Their insurance is going to be already packed into the program cost. So they're not going to see any extra fee on the outside. It'll already be built into the program cost. For students who are going on independent programs, yes, you will be charged based on the amount of time you are abroad.
Sounds good. Are there any further questions? All right. I think we can go ahead and take a vote now, if that's okay with you, Ms. Schomburg.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's see. We're now going to be voting on the educational abroad fee to provide insurance for students when they are not within the borders of the United States. This fee will only be paid by those who are approved for education abroad trips. If you have questions, Ms. Schomburg is right here, but we're now going to begin the voting process. Please raise your hand if you are in support of this fee. Wait, just know that I'm trying to raise mine. Give me a sec. All right. Oh. Only students should be voting for this, by the way.
She's a student.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking to Kate. I was just like looking at the screen. I was trying to see if any. Yeah, only students should be voting for this. All students present in the room are eligible to show support or non-support. So right now there are 26 people in support, well, 29, including the 3 that are, I believe, unable to raise their hands. Yeah. So 29 votes of approval. Sounds great. All right, you may all now put your hands down. Thank you guys so much. Or thank you all so much. Gender inclusive language. All right, can we bring the presentation back? Oh wait, time out. Oh, I don't bring the presentation back. Now, if you do not support this education abroad fee, please raise your hand. I will ask again. If you do not support the educational abroad fee or education abroad fee for insurance for students when they are not within the confines of the United States borders, home phones, man. Please raise your hand if you're nay. Going once, going twice, going thrice. All right. No nays. No, nobody is not in favor of this. Are there any abstentions? Is there anybody here who is not interested in participating in the voting process? I mean, technically you're still participating by abstaining, but is there anyone here that is just, you don't want to vote? You don't want to vote on this? Going once, going twice, going thrice. Nice. That's approved by 29 people with no votes of non-support. I don't remember the last time that happened. Yeah, snap. All right, we can go ahead and bring the presentation back up, and I believe Mr. Denny is speaking next.
Thank you, Hiba. There we are. This has been, and first off, my apologies for being late. I had another meeting that was fairly critical on our energy performance contract, so to support the initiatives of EcoHawks, and it ran longer for some critical things we were trying to resolve, so I apologize for that. On the dining plans, this has been presented a couple times to SGA, so I'll go through it fairly quickly. It's basically that we have three declining balance plans, the 1,000, 1,680, and 2,100 per semester. The first one is mandatory for any resident of Hunter Residence Hall. The other two are optional, and of course, all three of them are optional to any staff or faculty or student on our campus. And we're requesting to increase the minimum plan from 1,000 per semester to 1,400 semester, which is really a more realistic view of what it costs to eat per semester if you're living on campus. And we feel that keeping with the $1,000, it is misleading to new incoming students as to what it costs, and they may not plan for those additional funds. If approved, we are working on the process that we would grandfather into any current Hunter Residence Hall resident who returns next year, that they would still be able to get the $1,000 per semester, because clearly they already have experienced what it costs to eat. And I'm not concerned that we are misleading and sending an incorrect message to them by allowing them to have the $1,000 per semester carryover plan. And so we will do that. Still working out the mechanics of how we do that, but we will figure out a path between now and the start of fall semester. And so that's the proposal. We can go through all the slides, but like I said, this has been presented before. This was presented to the Student Dining Advisory Council. They were initially concerned and hesitant, and they're supportive. And so there's some additional things that we're doing to encourage and incentivize students to dine at the residence hall. And we're still working out the mechanics of how we do all of those things as well. But we intend to implement as many of these as we can. The only one that I'm guaranteeing is that the $1,000 per semester to returning students, because the others I haven't figured out how to do yet. This one, I think we've got a path, we just don't have it approved. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I will give the balance of my time back to you, Ms. Loya.
Thank you, Mr. Denny. I'm going to ask one more time. Are there any questions about this fee? Going once, going twice. All right, no questions.
Sorry.
Yes. No, please ask.
I was gonna say, so this would be only applicable to students who are living on campus. campus? Or would this be a fee for all students?
It is only applicable to students living in Hunter Residence Hall. Students
Mhm.
living at University Forest Apartments, who we consider to be living on campus, are not required to buy a declining balance meal plan. And so it wouldn't apply to them, and it certainly wouldn't apply to any other student not living in Hunter Residence Hall.
Okay, thank you.
It's still optional, but not required in any way.
Thank you for your question, Sabrina. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, now we may take a vote of support, non-support, and abstentions. So for those of y'all who support the fee for Hunter Hall residents and their dining plan, is how I'm going to summarize that. Please raise your hand. Not everybody has to pay this fee. For clarification, the way Serena asked the question, not everybody has to pay. It's just residents that are living in Hunter Hall. All right, so this is everybody that supports this. That is, oh, the number went away from me, so I can't, 24 people. All right, thank you so much. Now, you can put your hand down, and for those of y'all who disagree with this and do not want this fee to be there for Hunter Hall residents who are against this fee, please raise your hand. I will ask again. Please raise your hand if you are against this fee. Going one. Oh, we got an against. Serena said they're against it. Oh, wait, I don't think I was supposed to say the name. I just saw that was a private message. Okay, anyways, someone's against it. Sorry. Is there anybody else that's against it? Clearly don't tell me your name. All right, seems like we have one against, one nay. Are there any abstentions? Is there anyone that is not interested in voting? No abstentions? Okay, one abstention. Any other abstentions? You're just not voting? You didn't vote yes or no? All right, we got another person for against. Morgan, are you raising your hand for abstention?
No, I'm sorry, that was an accident.
Okay, so it seems like we have 24 for the proposal, 2 people against it, and 1 abstention is the final count. Abram, you can pull the PowerPoint back up.
If I could,
Yeah.
I want to offer my appreciation. I absolutely understand the links that SGA and your leadership went to be able to get to a vote on both of these, and I genuinely appreciate the dedication and the determination to stick with it and find a solution, and to be able to make sure that the student's voice was heard on both of these. And I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Fist bump, Mr. Denny. Virtual fist bump for that. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Next slide, please, Abram. Oh, that's me again. The committee updates. So Miss Woodcock is also on this call if y'all have questions for her too, but she is one of the co-chairs for this committee. This committee, ECO stands for Environmentally Conscious Organization. And the goal of this committee is to increase sustainability initiatives on campus even after I'm gone. So I kind of wanted to, that sounds weird, but that's not how I meant that. what I'm trying to say is I wanted a committee that would be dedicated to trying to figure out different ways that UHCL can play a bigger role in protecting our environment long after my term here is finished or the next cohort is finished. I wanted something that I could see being a part of this institution in the long run. And the eco committee was able to do that. So we were able to get faculty, staff, and students in a committee together to discuss how we can make this university more sustainable and what we can do to play a bigger role in our environment. So that's happening. Right now, the committee is in the forming stages. So we're really figuring out, the bylaws of the organization, as well as like what we really want to work on, how we're going to get funding, what we're going to be officially categorized as, stuff like that. But the committee will officially be available for anybody and everybody to join in the fall. And that's when we'll hopefully start doing things and making actual progress. But right now, just wanted to give you guys an update as to where we are on that, because that was one of my goals for this academic year. All right, next slide. Derek Delgado, the floor is yours.
Cool. I do need to share my screen though. Oops, you're not supposed to even see that. Okay, can you see that, right? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Basically, I just wanted to let everyone know kind of one of my goals as vice president committee coordinator was to kind of let all the committee representatives or student representatives on these shared governance or these subcommittees to come back and report to the SGA meeting. I will say that we kind of, a lot of things are happening during this cohort. We've had a lot of things come to us and initiatives that we've been pushing. But towards this last meeting, I'm going to try to get as many student representatives as I can. Most student representatives received an email from me basically telling them, one, thank you for serving on a committee, because that's a very important part of SGA. But two, that if you are able to come to the last SGA meeting, or if you're not, as long as you can report something on what the committee has done thus far, and what you plan or what you see the committee doing in the future, we would really appreciate that, because it'll allow other students to see, hey, this is what this committee is doing, and maybe they'll want to join that committee at some point as well. One new thing that we're starting is our new open forum platform. So it's going to be a little tool that we use for our open forum. We kind of made this around the idea that some people may want to bring up ideas and issues here on campus, but may not find this to be the most safe place, this not a safe space in order to do it, because one, this meeting is recorded and you're in a Zoom and everyone sees your name and things like that. So there is this new URL which will take you to a forum, and you can remain anonymous if you choose. If not, you can put your email, and if you want a follow back with SGA, a follow-up message with SGA, we would be more than happy to do that. But as soon as you do this, there will be an email that gets sent to SGA. So if you want, you can actually fill out the form during the SGA meeting, and we'll be checking it to see if there's something, a new concern brought up, and we'll bring it up. And you do not need to fill out this form during the SGA, only during the SGA meeting. You can fill this out at any point. The next thing is the orientation leader applications have been extended. It will be until the 16th. So basically, I'm going to kind of give you a brief overview of the orientation and new student programs. This is the director, Angie Monalongo, Tyler Hall, and Miss Kimberly. They also have two student assistants, Joe and Soledad. Basically, orientation programs, there's a couple different things that happen in orientation. One, transfer student orientation. It's also known as TSO. This is the orientation in which transfer students go through. Hawk Launch is basically an add-on to the orientation. It's basically SOAR 2.0. Nest Visits is something new that was brought into SOAR, and it's basically getting you acquainted with the campus before you actually start your first day here at school at UHCO. New International Student Orientation, which is also referred to as NISO. This is the orientation designated just for international students, which also ties a role into SOAR, which is the Student Orientation and Registration. And this is the one that brand new students who are new to college will go through. And then Hanging with the Hawk is something new that we found ourselves in with orientation and new student programs with COVID. So basically it's virtual hangout sessions where we do Talking Tuesday, where we basically talk to a faculty or staff member, and basically talk about their classes that they offer or just their experience here at UHCO. So in orientation, if you choose to become an orientation leader, there are two different routes you can take. You can be a summer orientation leader, or you can be a fall orientation leader. The highlight is you can actually do both if you choose. But if you just want to do one, that's totally fine. And basically, this is the breakdown of each one. So summer is, it's not, I would say, not as much work. You still have, orientation things to do. You do have Nest Visits, which was most likely going to take up most of your time, and then Hawk Launch. But I guess if you want more interaction with fellow students, you would get more out of the fall orientation leader, because that's when you'll be meeting new students in SOAR, and then also new students coming in as international students. And like I said, if you're interested, you can always apply for both of them. So these are kind of the benefits, leadership development. You can become a role model and just be able to have better public speaking skills. Fun fact, both me and Hiba were orientation leaders at the same time. And
We definitely weren't friends.
yes,
None
we were not, absolutely not. But you also get paid. So if you are
Barely.
looking for a summer job, this is a great place. Have a positive attitude if you want to become an orientation leader. Do you need to maintain a professional image, maintain professional relationships, be ethical and professional, have an appropriate social media presence, make sure you attend all the events that are required. And like I said, if you will have to go to an info session, which I'll talk to you about here in a little bit, and then always be on time. I think that last one is like the hardest one, is be on time. So if you are wanting to kind of understand the dates and expectations of the events, this is kind of a simple breakdown of those dates. So now you want to become an orientation leader, because I know that's what everyone is thinking. And I know you're just waiting for me to tell you what the next steps are. The next thing you would have to do is attend an info session. You would have to complete a application, which I will send here in the chat, like here shortly. Applications will be due this Friday at 12 p.m. And then I will also put the email in which you'll send the application into. Other than that, that is all I have. Does anyone have any questions about anything I said? That's including like the committee representative reports and the...
That's my face. That's all I have to say.
I need to like put something like over.
I'm actually in that other picture too, in the very back row. I was also, that was last Ramadan, actually. That was a year ago. Fun fact, in case anyone cares.
So does anyone have any questions? If not, that's totally fine. Awesome. Thank you, Hiba.
No problem, Derek. All right, Ibram, could we pull the presentation back up? Next slide, please. All right. We have Brandon Woodcock discussing Balancing the Badge the Talk, a Mayor Student Leadership Alliance event taking place today. Brandon, the floor is yours.
All right. So yeah, just a quick reminder that today at 5 p.m. is the Balancing the Badge event. Now this event is going to have police chiefs from 3 of our local universities. I believe it's Police Chief of Rice University, Chief Rodriguez. Also going to be our very own Chief Miller from UACL, and Chief Moore from, oh, there he goes, Chief Miller. And then we're going to have Chief Moore from UH as well. Some of you may know our old police chief that we had for Houston was Chief Acevedo, but we now have the new one, Chief Finner. He's going to be there to talk as well. And then we're going to have a representative from BLM to come and kind of be a part of this conversation. So it's just going to be a time for us to kind of communicate about what we could think about the dynamic between the relationships between our community and police officers, and how we can come to some solutions. And I believe that. So yeah, like I said, 5 p.m. today, 5 to 6, and then the Zoom link. Here's a link where you can sign up. And then if you go to our Get Involved page, you can find the link to submit pre-submitted questions, because if you don't feel comfortable stating your questions, you can do the pre-submitted ones and ask them anonymously. So that's all I have.
Okay. Hello, can y'all hear me? No, I'm not on mute. Okay, yeah. So thank you, Brandon, for sharing this. The setup is going to be really, really similar to a town hall, kind of like that. There's going to be panelists and officers, but it's also going to be like a roundtable discussion. We want to make sure both parties have an opportunity to share their concerns and such. The registration link is going to be in the chat right now. Yeah, well, he already sent it, actually. Never mind, Brandon, I just saw that. Good job. Brandon sent the registration link, and then I'll go ahead and send the link for if you would like to submit questions right now. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I cannot imagine a better time to be having this discussion with everything going on right now. So I'd really appreciate your attendance and participation and effort towards the betterment of our society.
Hey, if I could pipe in, Hiba.
Yes.
So Brandon and I are going to be meeting soon and looking at actually putting together the in-person type of activities between students and police on UHCL campus. So maybe into the fall when there's more students coming back. And because we previously discussed, training and policy discussions and interactive type of activities that gets the students with a hands-on activity. And with the students coming back in the fall, it'll be more feasible to do. Yeah. So Brandon and I are going to be discussing that here soon. And so look for that in the fall, and the more the merrier.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Miller. Next slide, please. All right. Lastly, we have Miss Alina Thomas from the Student Involvement and Leadership. The floor is yours.
Thank you. All right, everyone. So I'm going to be having a lot of announcements today, so just preparing you in advance. All right. So first, I'll be talking about the Student Leadership Awards. So we will be having that on May 12th, and you can still sign up for that, where you can put in your nominations for the various categories. The deadline for that is April 14th at 12 noon. Sorry, my headphone keeps dropping out. I don't know why. Anyways, so yes, the date is April 14th at 12 p.m. So, okay. If I just posted something, I thought someone had an issue. All right. The next thing I wanted to announce was the Heart of a Hawk Champions Cup. We just had that this weekend. So we weren't able to announce the winners, but we wanted to announce that today. And the winners are the Spirit Squad. So congratulations to the Spirit Squad for winning the Heart of a Hawk Champions Cup. This is the first of the kind. So yeah, I'm so glad and also thank you to all who attended the family weekend and for all the participants as well. All right, and next we do have our last upcoming Leadership Experience Development Series workshop. That is the Zoom Fatigue is Real, exploring how the virtual world is causing you distrust. on April 20th by the counseling services. So this will be our last workshop for this semester. So I hope all of you can join us. And lastly, we do have, like Hiba mentioned about SGA, we have extended the deadline for all the leadership opportunities that we have. The deadline is this Thursday at 12 p.m. So just wanted to quickly mention that. So we do have the forms to sign up for Campus Activities Board is extended as well as HSTC, that's the Hawk Spirit and Traditions Council, and the mascot program and SGA. So yeah, I hope that if you are interested, please do sign up. This is a great opportunity for not only for your leadership development, but also to network and to meet other people beyond your usual circle. Okay, so that covers that. So I will stop sharing my screen for this part because I wanted to share my screen for another presentation.
So quick interjection, Spirit Squad is not present today. They were having
We'll email them, yeah.
Yeah, they were having technical difficulties with the Zoom link, so just be sure.
Oh, okay, thank you for letting us know. We'll email them. Just wanted to let everyone know as well. Okay, so to jump to a new topic, it's the Student Advisory Campus Store Committee. So let me quickly share my screen for that. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I am the chair of this committee. So we've been running, so this is for the past 2 semesters. So I quickly want to go over what we've been doing and what this committee is for. So the purpose of this council is basically to create a space so that students, faculty, and staff can have or provide direct feedback to the campus store manager and the executive director of auxiliary services and procurement. And basically we talk about ways we can improve the campus store. So these are our currently active members. So that's myself, Shweta, our faculty members, our staff members, Laura, who's in this call, and the executive director, which is Debbie, who's also on the call, and our campus manager, campus store manager, Roger. So we do want more students to be present in this committee. We don't only just want 2 students. Also to add, Shweta and I are both graduating this semester. So we need a lot more student reps for this committee as well. And I think it's important because campus store adds to the culture of your student life or your student experience on campus. So I think it's important. And I do recommend that if you are someone who's interested, or if you're someone who's new to committees and stuff, this is a great committee to join. So I quickly want to go over the updates that we've been working on. So we did remodel the campus store this past summer. Debbie did go over these pictures earlier in the fall, but I just wanted to quickly show you the construction and stuff. So they replaced the ceilings and night lights, and there were new like carpets and stuff installed. And so now this is what the store looks like. So I used to work at the store before when it was Barnes and Nobles, and I can tell you it's completely different. Sorry, this keeps on falling down. The register used to be on this side over here, and now the register is over here. And we had like different merchandise and stuff, and now we have the We Are Hawk sign and everything. So a lot has changed, a lot has improved. So a lot of good things have been happening at the campus store. So another thing that they did, so this was mostly during last summer because that was when we had our peak COVID-19 situation. The campus store was really good about, having online order services. So we had like a pickup area where students could, or anyone could order stuff and they could come to campus and pick up their orders, or they also had a curbside pickup option. And also to mention that they also had a daily delivery option for students who lived on campus as well. I don't think they still do that, but if that's something that you think they still need to do, please do come at these meetings and talk about why you think it's important, because they did a lot of cool stuff during COVID, during the peak. They tried to adjust and make it very flexible for the people who live on campus as well. So I thought that the campus store did a lot. So I'm sure there are many ideas that a lot of people have. So if you guys are having ideas, feel free to come to the meeting and talk about these. Another thing that we did was install a campus store website. Let me quickly show you what that looks like, if I can do that. Can you all see this one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is what the store website looks like, or not the store website, but the committee council, what it looks like. So we've uploaded our bylaws, We've also uploaded the sales adoption. So basically this shows like what the sales have been like. And I can tell you that it's reduced a little bit because of COVID-19. And also we have the information about our upcoming dates for our upcoming meeting. And we do that on Teams as well. So yeah, a lot of information available here. If you're not able to come to a meeting, you can always send in your questions or comments right over here and we can talk about it at the committee meetings as well. And lastly, we do have something we call Fall Ed Discover. I think this is helpful for both faculty and staff. Faculty will use this to upload their book adoptions, which is basically which textbooks they use for the coming semesters. And you as a student can put in, you can find out basically what, sorry, I need to put in my password. But basically you'll find out what are your textbooks you'll need for the upcoming semester as well, which I thought was very helpful, especially if you want to buy your books in advance. So you have that list. I mean, I'm graduating, so I don't have any upcoming semesters, but I can show you what my previous semesters look like. So all your textbook information is available over here. So yeah, that's pretty much it on that front. So going back to the presentation, I just wanted to quickly remind everyone that it's a great opportunity to network. You learn how committees work, and you can also help improve or increase the visibility of the campus work. Because there's a lot of cool things that they do, just that students aren't aware of all the stuff that they do, and they need help with promoting those ideas. So the next meeting is on June 15th, and you can contact Laura Wilder. She is our staff representative who's very helpful and very kind. If you have any questions, feel free to email her and she will send you the link to the meeting. And that's about it. All right, I'm finally done.
Thank you, Alina, for presenting today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Next up, Abram. All right. So we have open forum, but I'm going to go ahead and table open forum. I'm sorry, guys. It's 12:30. It's kind of late. All right. So never become so involved with something that it blinds you. Never forget where you are from, or never forget where you're from. Someone will remind you. DMX, rest in peace, man. But also closing remarks. The last SGA meeting of the semester will be held on Tuesday, April 20th. Please be sure to be present no later than 11:20 a.m. so we can begin the meeting promptly at 11:30 a.m. I look forward to seeing you all then. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. This time is 12:31 and the meeting is adjourned.